What up, guys? How's it going? Here I am with my friend Carlos. Carlos, where are you from?
So I'm from California, the United States. My dad lives in Southern California, near San Diego, near Mexico, and my mom lives in Central Northern California, about an hour away from San Francisco.
Okay. So tell us a little bit more about you. Did you study something in the States, or you live there?
Yeah, so I studied, for 4 years, I studied film and a little bit of photography.
Oh, that's cool.
That was my passion. It still is my passion. I love film. That's what I do in my free time, and music.
Yeah.
But I was able to take more classes and courses in the university in different subjects, in education, in sociology, in politics, in feminist studies, and a lot of different things. So it opened my mind, and I found out that I didn't want to do film as a career, but I wanted to be a teacher. I wanted to be in education.
Yeah.
But that my film degree would always help me because it's a skill I have, and I have a camera, and so it's something I can use and I can do, and it gets me work.
Yeah, that's cool. So, did you did any short film or something like that when you were learning there?
Yeah, I did a lot of short films. That was our projects. So instead of tests, we had to do short films. Or instead of final exams or a thesis, I had to do a film.
Okay.
So it was hard. It was difficult because you had a short period of time. You had, here's 2 weeks, and even though it was a short film, so here's 2 weeks. You have to think of a concept. You have to organize it. If you need actors, you need to get them involved, and that's a pain because they're unreliable.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I need you to come here. And they're like, oh, I can't make it today. And then everything is shot. So yeah, it was a pain, and sometimes I had to rush it, and it's not my best work, but it helps me a lot to understand the process of how to make a film, and it helped me now know what I need, and I feel like I can make a film on the fly now. I can make it really fast now. So.
Yeah, that's cool. But I think I don't know, for example, to go into the filming industry, the movie industry, I think that's pretty difficult, right?
It's super difficult, and that was a big reason why I didn't want to take it as a career.
Yeah.
I just felt like it wasn't something that called my attention that I wanted to spend my whole life on a career. It just wasn't my thing. And the movie industry is very, what they say, cutthroat. It's very aggressive, and I just wasn't for that. I wasn't for spending my whole time on being aggressive just so I can get my film out there. It was. But I do use my film skills, my photography skills, now as a part of education, because a lot of people like film and photography, and so I use that as a tool. Now it's not more so like my career, but I use it as a little tool that I have that I can use when I'm teaching, or as something that might entice or engage people when I'm teaching. So, and I felt that teaching. I've always loved teaching. I've always loved interacting with students and having them learn new ideas and new topics and having that aha moment. And so I really felt that's what I want to do. I want to do something that is with people. That's always with people. That's with young people. I really enjoy working with young people.
So you were studying there a little bit of film and photography, you told me. Do you have experience to teach people there?
Yeah, so I have a interesting experience teaching people. Yeah. One of the first classes I took in college was a class on what they call popular education.
Yeah.
Popular education is different than a traditional model of education, or I shouldn't even say model. It's a movement of education, and so. What it is, very short summary, and it's very simple. It's a lot more complex, but there are no teachers. There's facilitators.
Oh, okay.
So facilitators help guide a group, basically for the purpose to elevate their consciousness, their political, social consciousness, and the context they're in, so that they can understand the political, social context they're in,
Yeah.
but then as a result, do action and change their political, social context for the better, for their society, for their families, for themselves. But anyways, there was a class on that, and I took that class, and that got me very, very interested in education. 2 years later, the facilitators of the class, the
Yeah.
people who make up the curriculum, who do everything, they're students in college as well.
Oh, okay.
So I got the opportunity to be one of those facilitators. So I made the curriculum with another student. We facilitated every class. We had sections. It was a really great experience because we had to manage a college course.
Yeah.
After that, I continued with my education teaching background. I would volunteer in schools, so I would just watch teachers and I would help them out a little bit. How do they do this? How do they do that? What are the techniques they're using? I had a friend, a teacher friend, and she let me be there for a couple weeks. And then back home, I did it for like a month, 2 months in different classrooms in kindergarten and first grade. And then after that, I also subbed. I was an art substitute in college, so I would do drama classes with students. It was really fun.
Cool.
And then after that, when I went back home after college, I became a substitute teacher. So I became a substitute teacher. Every day, almost, I would go to different classes and just whatever the teacher left me to do, I would do that.
Yeah.
And then finally, I had another job. My last job, while I was a substitute teacher as well, I worked at a community organization,
Okay.
and part of my job there was to be a facilitator, a teacher, for this class called Joven Noble.
So that was like a Spanish thing, or?
No, but they used it. It's called Joven Noble because the teachings they call it teachings, and what you're supposed to teach comes from elders in the community, and they're from Mexico,
Okay.
and they're from California, and so they call it Joven Noble, the honorable young man.
Yeah.
And in the class, they were students who had been in prison, or who had been in juvenile hall, I should say, who had been in juvenile hall, and they were on probation. And to get less time off their probation, they had a choice to come to my class and to take the class, and they can get less time off their probation. But the class was based on our one-liner. What we said the class was about was to reroute ourselves,
Okay.
reroute young men to their sacredness, because we
Wow.
believed that the trauma and all the things that they had been through in juvenile hall and in their childhood had uprooted them, had taken them away from who they were, who they originally were.
Yeah.
And so it was, in a sense, it was kind of like collective therapy, not only for the students, but for me too.
Yeah.
We got to share, what we'd say, our wounds. We got to talk about some really important and deep stuff. We got to have fun. We'd eat every class. And it was also about political education, because we felt that they couldn't properly heal from the things that were troubling them if they didn't understand the roots from which their problems stem from, such as poverty, violence, especially gun violence, maybe drug abuse, different things like that. But what's the history behind those things, and why are they in our city?
Yeah.
So that was a great experience for me. But that, I guess, sums up my teaching background.
Okay, so well, yeah, that's so interesting. Like, I mean, I like that. I mean, you were just working at that project. Was it a foundation?
It was we call it a community organization.
Community organization.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, that was a good project. Like, you were helping people, so that's like really cool.
Yeah.
And
They were helping me as well.
yeah, I mean, you know, like like about experience of teaching, I think that's like a win-win part. Like, I mean, you know, you learn from both sides, and that's really cool. And okay, so what about like do you have siblings?
I have 2 siblings. I have a brother. I have a little brother, and I have a sister. My brother is 15 years old. His name is Emilio Campo, and my sister is my same age. Her name is Gabriela Herrera. A lot of people are confused when I say that she's my same age.
Yeah.
Like, oh, are you twins? We're actually technically, we are step siblings.
Oh, okay.
But we met when we were 5 or 6. I always forget the number. It's somewhere around there.
Okay.
And but we've known each other our whole lives, and so.
So you get well.
Oh yeah, we get along well, and we say. I mean, I don't say, "Oh, she's my stepsister." I say she's my sister.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's your sister.
It is my sister,
Yeah.
and then, yeah, my little brother is 15.
Okay, so you live with your little brother.
Before I was here, I lived with my mom actually.
Okay.
And so with my mom, on my mom's side, it's just me.
Okay.
But on my dad's side, because they got divorced, on my dad's side, it's my little brother and my sister.
Okay, so they live with your father.
Yeah, they live with my dad. Well, my sister now lives in Boston.
Okay.
She is studying to become a neurosurgeon. Really difficult stuff.
Yeah.
But my brother lives with my dad and my stepmom, and yeah. So I mean, I live with my mom. I lived with my mom before here because it's where I grew up and I feel comfortable there. My dad lives in Southern California. I didn't grow up in Southern California, but I still visit them and I still visit them whenever I can because I really do like going down there. But it's just different when you didn't grow up there.
Yeah, exactly. It's like this is not your place.
Yeah, it feels weird. It feels a little weird. So, and I don't know as many people there. So
yeah, that's another one. So like, where are your parents originally from?
My parents are originally from. My dad is originally from Mexico.
Okay.
He was born in Mexico, but he grew up in the United States. He was born in Mexicali, but we don't have family in Mexicali. Mexicali is very close to the border.
Okay.
The border of United States and Mexico.
Yeah.
And my dad was just born there because my grandparents, his parents, were migrating to the United States while my grandmother was pregnant.
Okay.
So that's the big reason why he was born in Mexicali. Also, my mom was born in Los Angeles. And then Los Angeles is a big region and city. But in Los Angeles, there's different cities or really big neighborhoods. So she was born in Watts, Los Angeles. And so, and she grew up in the United States. And then my stepmom was born, I know she grew up in San Jose, and I think she was born in San Jose. San Jose is, a lot of people know it as Silicon Valley now. It's a part of Silicon Valley where Google is and where all these big corporations are. It's really expensive now. But my stepmother grew up in San Jose, I believe.
Okay. So, you speak very well Spanish then?
I speak okay. I can get along. I'm not gonna get lost anywhere because I can ask directions.
So you learned Spanish because of your father? I mean, he was just talking to you in Spanish sometimes, or you learn like in another way?
It's
because you grew up learning like both languages, or you just
both languages. I grew up learning English and Spanish as a child.
Because of your parents or in school?
Because of my parents. Because of my parents. My mom speaks Spanish as well.
Oh.
My stepmother doesn't speak Spanish as well right now. She does speak a little bit of Spanish. But my mom and my dad do speak Spanish. And it was also more so than anything. It was my parents, definitely, but it was also, we had a family friend and she helped take care of me, and she also spoke Spanish with me a lot. When my parents were at work, so, I needed to eat, so.
Yes.
Comida. I was frijoles,
hambre.
Yeah. So she also was a part of teaching Spanish, but my parents for sure. And, but when I went to school, I went to a Catholic school. And I mean, I was one of the only Latino students there. And so, I mean, no one spoke Spanish to me. So I lost a lot of it. I lost my Spanish when I went to school. And ever since then, ever since maybe middle school, I've been trying to regain my Spanish. So I've, had friends who are Mexican or Latino or who have some type of heritage. such as that, and I would speak to them in Spanish, and they would speak to me in Spanish, and a lot of times it was horrible.
Yeah.
I learned words. I learned
Yeah.
words. Every high school was better. I learned more words. I learned a little bit more, especially because I had to take a Spanish class.
Yeah.
And then
I think that's like normal, right? It's like people just take like in high school Spanish classes.
yes, yes. I had a base, so it wasn't that hard. So I didn't try that much. So it was kind of like college. I had a lot more. It was like even more friends from Latino descent, and they, I was surrounded by Spanish there. And then I would take trips to Mexico to visit my family or on different things, and I would pick up more Spanish there.
Yeah.
And then finally, it was here in Colombia in this past 8 months that I've been here that I really have been able to progress in my Spanish to somewhere where I feel comfortable, at least having a conversation with somebody. Sometimes it's choppy, sometimes I misplace articles or whatever, but now I feel.
But you make yourself understand.
Yeah.
I think that's the most important point. Like, like most of the people when they are learning a language, like most of the people, they are afraid of speaking a language because they say, I don't say this because maybe I pronounce it bad or maybe I say this wrong. So, they're afraid about doing it. But I think it's a good point if people just try to do it. Doesn't matter if they make mistakes. That's part of the process. But so I think that's a very good important point.
Yeah, I'll talk to some of my friends from back home, and they're maybe from Mexico or what have you, and I'll speak Spanish to them, and they're like, oh, but you still sound like a gringo.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, shit. It's not gonna stop. But yeah, I do make mistakes, but I'm glad that I'm able to get my point across and I can communicate.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point, to communicate with other people. And so your siblings, they do speak Spanish as well then?
My sister actually probably speaks better Spanish than I do. She had been going to Mexico a lot more, and I think was a little bit closer to her family in Mexico than I was.
Okay.
Because we have different. She's technically my stepsister, so we have different ancestors, we have different sides in Mexico. And so she would say, growing up, I think she spoke a little bit more Spanish than I did. So her Spanish right now is a little bit better than mine. My little brother, honestly, I'm not sure. I know, because growing up, he didn't speak Spanish. And so, I think his Spanish level definitely isn't as good, but I know now that him going to high school and taking Spanish class, I know it's getting better. Like I can hear him saying words in Spanish, whereas that was before, his pronunciation wasn't really good, and now so his pronunciation is better. So I think we're all progressing in some way, shape, or form.
Okay, so is it difficult learning Spanish at school?
In school?
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if it's difficult. I don't know if the word is difficult, but I would use the word not effective.
Okay.
Not effective, not as effective as being in another country. Because I can go to Spanish class and you'll forget a lot of it, right? Because it's like, oh, this is mandatory. Why am I?
Yeah, so you just go to the class because you have to go to the class.
And then you're like, okay, I just need to remember this, and after the test, I'm gonna forget it. So I definitely still remember things that I learned in Spanish class, but compared to living in another country,
exactly.
This is 100% more effective
than
any Spanish class. But I don't know if it's difficult. It's just
not effective.
It's not as effective. It's definitely not effective. Not as
because
effective.
all the time think about this, and all the time I ask my students this question. All my students, they speak Spanish really well. They grew up here, so I ask them how did you learn Spanish? So it's like the normal process. You're a baby, people and your parents and family start talking to you in Spanish in this case, or English in your case, and so they just start listening to the language and they just try to repeat some words and they just try to speak, and then after that they just go to schools to learn grammar. But the process normally is backwards. First is grammar and things and books and all stuff, and so I think that's why it's not effective.
True.
It happens in here. you know, in high schools they have like English classes.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of the same, you know, grammar books, and yeah, so the people just study for the test, and after the test they forget everything about it. So like,
That's true.
yeah,
It's
exactly.
interesting how it is backwards. Yeah, like my grammar in Spanish is not good, but I mean, I can communicate with people.
It's more important. I mean, that's more important. Like, I could, you know, it could be awkward to be like, I don't know, in an airport or someplace and just be like writing things and like,
Yeah.
it's better to communicate. Like, hey, excuse me, do you know this place or this? Place?
Yeah, and people can understand what I'm saying.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's really, really interesting how it is backwards.
Yeah, and actually it is. Yeah, that's what it's not affecting.
Yeah, I haven't thought about that.
Yeah. Okay, so how this decision like come to you like about like traveling?
I had a decision to make before I left. I was originally going to do my master's of education master's in education at a university.
Okay.
It was going to be a 2-year process, and you know I had done the applications. I had gotten letters saying yes, you can come to our school, and so I was ready to go. Like it was a process. It was maybe like a 6-month process to do everything, or maybe even longer. It was a really long process, and I put a lot of work into it. And one day, I don't know if I felt 100% about my decision.
Yeah.
And I remember talking to my mentor one day. You know, I said, you know, I think this is what I'm going to do. Get my master's in education. I want to teach primary school. And he's like, why the hell do you want to do that? And I was like, I don't know, because I like education. He's like, man, the education system in California is horrible. Or the United States is horrible, and it is, because, I mean, we're teaching for the test. And that's not the education I believe in. I might have to do some of that along the way, but it's in the end goal, that's not the education I believe in. And so he said, I'll never forget, he said, you know, are you doing that just because that's the route everyone does? Like, you go here, you go here, you go here, and this is what you're supposed to do. And I said, well, maybe that is why. He's like, you know, you should do something else. I mean, you've been in school all your life. Why are you going to go back to school right now? And the thing is, school's expensive. It's very expensive. So he said, why are you going to do that now? I don't know. And he's like, go do something else. Go travel. You know, go teach English somewhere.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, yeah,
That's good.
That's a good idea. And so, and it all came together in a really weird way because my friend, one of my good friends, he had taught English in the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
And he'd always said so many great things about it and how he gained from it. And so when my mentor said that to me, I said, wow, that's a trip. Maybe something is calling me to do that.
Yeah.
And so I did research and I looked at programs and before I even knew any program, I decided, you know what, I don't want to go to university. This isn't what I want to do.
Yeah.
And my parents were very displeased. They're very displeased.
What did he say to you?
They said, they said basically it's only a 2-year program.
Yeah.
You can do that and then you can go travel. And it sounds logical. It has reason. But for me, I just know that I'm young now, and it's different traveling when you're older than when you're young.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I felt, no, I need to do this now. And this is a decision I made for myself. And at the end of the day, they accepted it. And I think they see now. I'm not sure, but I think they see now. Just talking to them, I think they see the value in it and the value I've gained from it. So yeah, and then afterwards, I did my research and this program was it was easy.
Yeah.
They did everything for you.
Yeah.
And they placed you, and I was like, let's do this. And I did it, and I feel really proud of myself because I said I was going to do something, and not everyone saw the value in it.
Yeah.
But I did, and a couple other people did that believed in me, and now I feel like, wow, this was the right choice. It has no value. It has no value, no price. You know, I mean, it has a price, but but it's
everything, like, you know, experience and all the stuff that you live in it. Yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah, it's priceless. So
Yeah.
it definitely has a price. Yeah. The coffee we just drank has a price. But no, it's priceless. It's priceless. I mean, even just me, just the fact of me able to speak Spanish now.
Yeah.
Like that's for me, that's a lot more valuable than a diploma. Honestly. Yeah, a diploma can get me a career, a job, but now I'm able to speak to so much more people now than before I was not.
And you know, like you have like as well more opportunities with that as well, like you know.
It opens a lot of doors.
Yeah.
It opens a lot of doors to be able to speak another language. It's a beautiful thing. It's so beautiful. Beautiful thing.
So like another question, but like before coming to Colombia, so did your parents know something about Colombia?
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. Yes and no. Me, I mean, honestly, I didn't know a lot about Colombia. I had a few friends in college that were from Colombia, but I didn't know much about it.
Yeah.
I just knew that it was very distinct, and I knew it wasn't gonna. I mean, I knew Mexico as the only other country I know really in Latin America, but I just knew it was gonna be different than Mexico. Like I knew it's not gonna be the same. Obviously, it's not gonna have the same food. You know, people are gonna speak differently. It's everything. But I didn't come with a lot of expectations. My parents, other people, they've like seen news, they've seen Narcos. I never seen Narcos. So
I wasn't people that like, hey, you know, before coming to Colombia, I was watching Narcos, like.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see Narcos, so I didn't have that impression. But yeah, my parents, they're like, you know, you need to be careful, be safe out there. You know, Colombia is dangerous. This, and this. And I was like, I don't know if all that's true. And obviously, I think deep down, I was also a little nervous because I didn't know what to expect. I was like, maybe, you know.
I mean, anyways, it was something new.
It was something new, and I was like, maybe it is a little dangerous. You know, I'm being placed in this city called Ipiales, and there's nothing there. Like, you know, how am I gonna manage? I was nervous. But no, it was. Yeah, I think my parents and other people were a lot more nervous than I was about coming here. But you know, it's funny to me because right now there are a lot of studies that have come out that said Mexico is actually a lot more dangerous than Colombia right now. Because of the, I mean, obviously there's places where you can't go here, there's places where I can't go. You know, obviously, you know, just like any place in the world, and it's not, you know, by any means I know Colombia is not perfect. But in general, Mexico is a lot dangerous. It's a lot more dangerous right now. That's like our country. That's me and my family's country. And so that's for me. It was kind of funny. It was like, you know, and I'm fine here. Nothing really bad has happened to me. You know, I've had a couple incidents, but nothing life-threatening. So
Exactly.
I feel pretty comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, like that's pretty normal. Like just feel a little bit scary. Like you know, like the first time that I traveled to go to the States, it was by myself as well. And I just told my partner, like, hey, I'm traveling to the States. I'm gonna do like work there for a while. And they were like, wow, you going by yourself? You going alone? That's it, dangerous. Don't do it. Don't do it. Now my mom as well was saying, hey, don't leave. Don't go. And I'm like, man, I want to do this. I want to live the experience. And yeah, you know, I was a little bit scared because you know. The first time that I traveled to say I didn't know anybody there, like anybody. You know, I was just like with some couple of friends here in Colombia. They helped me out with some like document stuff, and so I got a job there. And then I just flew there. And then when I got there, I was in the airport, I remember, and I have to email my you know, the people who was there, and so they went to the airport to pick me up, and so since then it was a different story, like so now I have a lot of friends over there, so I remember then the next time that I traveled after the first one, so people were just texting me, yeah, you coming back to the States, so you should come to my house, and I'll tell you more than welcome, like, well, man, thank you.
That's cool. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, exactly. So you know, it's like it's different, and so as you were saying, like it's you know, your mind is totally up, and like you have like a different vision about your life as well, and that's really something priceless.
It's priceless.
That's right. And so then you decided to travel to Colombia. So the first city you arrived, I guess, was Bogota, right?
Yeah, I arrived in Bogota. Luckily, my tío, my uncle, he has a connection in Bogota. Really good guy, and he picked me up from the airport. He took me out to lunch. I had a booking at a hostel, and he took me there. But he kind of gave me like a real 1 hour, 2 hour summary of Colombia.
Yeah.
real short,
Yeah.
real short stuff, but it was really nice because I didn't feel like 100% alone.
Yeah.
He was like, and he speaks like great English. He's like really great. He can manage English, Spanish perfectly. So yeah, it was good people. But yeah, I read in Bogota first.
So for how long were you in Bogota?
I was in Bogota, so I traveled before my orientation. I was in Bogota for a week. For about a week, more or less, for about a week. After that, I traveled to Medellin.
Okay.
I was there for about a week, and then I went back to Bogota for my orientation.
Oh, okay.
And
So you arrived here to Colombia before your orientation.
Mhm.
Okay.
I wanted to travel a little bit. I didn't want to just, because I knew I was going to go to Ipiales,
Yeah.
and I wasn't anything in Ipiales.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I want to dig my feet a little bit into Colombia first and feel a little bit comfortable. So when I get to Bogota, when I get to Ipiales again when I get to Bogota for orientation, when I go to Ipiales for work, I won't feel so shocked. I would already had a little bit of time in Colombia, and I can get a little bit of the hang of it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you were like, then, what's that? Bogota, Medellin, Bogota, and then you traveled with Piales.
Yes.
Okay. So, what about like, so the places you've been like here in Colombia, you've been like, you've been in other places as well, right?
Yeah, I've been a good amount of places actually. I've been Bogota, Medellin, Popayan,
Yeah.
Cali, Ipiales, Pasto, that's it. Chachawi.
Yeah.
Chachawi, San Juan. No, I think that's it. Yeah, that's it.
So what's the city you like so far the most?
I really like Cali.
Yeah.
I really like Cali. I
Because
just
the weather, city.
the way people greet you.
Okay.
The people are very open.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's very different from Ipiales. People are a little bit more like a
Cool.
little cautious. I mean, I liked Medellin, but I was only there for a week, and I feel I didn't get a good sense of it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And I've been to Cali a lot of times.
Yeah.
I've been to Cali maybe like 5 times already.
Yeah.
And every time I just really enjoy it. I
Okay.
really enjoy the people, the weather, the salsa, the music, just people on the streets just dancing.
Yeah.
We just in the United States we say it's live. It's really live.
Yeah.
It's really live, so I enjoy that.
Yeah. What about places in Arellano? Like,
In
so
Arellano?
you've been to Las Lajas, I guess, right?
I haven't been to Las Lajas.
You haven't? No?
No, I haven't been to Las Lajas. I've been to a lot of places actually in Nariño.
Yeah.
But my favorite place in Nariño, like city or just.
City, yeah.
I really like Pasto.
Yeah.
I really like Pasto. It's just, I enjoy it because I've never really lived in a city before.
Yeah.
I've always lived in like small places.
Yeah.
And Ipiales is small, and it doesn't feel that. It's different for sure, but just being in a small city doesn't really bother me because I've been in a small city my whole life. But I like Pasto because I want to be in a bigger city.
Yeah.
And Pasto is nice because it's not like Bogota, where it's like
It's too big.
it's too big, it's
Yeah.
stressful, and it takes forever to get places.
Yeah.
That's annoying.
Yeah, that's one thing that I like Paso. And like most of the friends that come here, they say, yeah, shit, you can walk everywhere.
Yeah,
It's easy. Yeah.
it's not too far. I could get a taxi and the most it'll be like 20 minutes maybe.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
that. And so, but yeah, I really like Pasto. And but in the opposite, I really enjoy San Juan on Sundays.
Okay.
Yeah, San Juan on Sundays is really cool. I just love the nature part of it because Ipiales, a lot of times it's hard to breathe. Like, there's so much smoke, there's so much congestion. Some of the streets are really narrow, so it's not like, I don't know, it feels like a lot. But then just being in San Juan, with like nature, with the mountains. You can breathe. It's just beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. So on the opposite end of living in like a city like Pasto, San Juan, I think is just really beautiful. And then I really like I really like the sight and the feel of seeing everyone together and like people just chatting, people eating, all the people there. It feels like like you belong there, you know, like you can belong here, you know, so it's nice.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so, and your experience teaching here, like in Piales, you're in Piales, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, how's it? Like you're teaching like teenagers or other people? Or?
I'm teaching teenagers. I'm teaching at an all-girls school, all-girls Catholic school, San Francisco de Asís. I teach 9th grade, 10th grade, and 11th grade.
Okay.
I have 2 9th grades, I have 2 10th grades, I have 2 11th grades. It's interesting. It's very, very interesting. It's something that I've never done before.
Yeah.
Which is good because it challenges me. I have to kind of switch up my teaching style a little bit. I have to not do things normally because, for instance, in being a substitute teacher, like I was last year, and working at the community organization, being a substitute teacher in Stockton, that's where I was born, it's difficult because the students have a lot of baggage, what we like to say. They have a lot of trauma.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I have to be a lot tougher, and I have to be a lot, just tougher. I have to be a lot stricter. And to interact with the students, sometimes I have to, what we like to say, clown on them. I have to like joke with them. Or I have to like, you know, because in the home sometimes that's how they react with their parents. Like that's how they, that's how you get them to pay attention. So for me, I'm a little bit more meaner to the kids a little bit, but that's how they're familiar to that, which kind of sucks, but they're familiar to that, so and then I can kind of like entice them in to what I'm trying to tell them. And then afterwards, it's a little bit of that comfort. And then also with the community organization that I was working at, I was working with all young men who had been in juvenile hall, and so they had like guards up. They were a lot tougher and stubborn. Really, in the inside, they were really some good students and really some good dudes, but they had a lot of things inside. And so that was definitely, and I was mainly, not all, but I was mainly working with young men. So now it's young girls at a Catholic school, and that is totally different. I enjoy it, to be honest. I enjoy working with girls. They're a lot easier. Sometimes. They're a lot easier sometimes. Sometimes they do have attitude. They do have
big ear.
Yeah, they do have attitude. But what I do enjoy about it is that they are genuinely, when they're genuinely interested, they're genuinely interested. Some are not, and that's fine. Like I get it. You know, I'm not here to change hearts. I'm here to change minds. And so, but I do enjoy it. I do enjoy, because I do get the chance to share my culture with them. I do enjoy them sharing their culture with me. What I do enjoy also is that the students here, the student-teacher relationship, it feels a lot closer than in the United States. Like students.
Well, because I think, like for example, in the States, like it's not like, I mean, there are a lot of problems if a teacher, like talks maybe too much or like go closer,
Yeah, it's weird because definitely as a girls' school, I try to keep my distance from the girls and try to keep like a healthy relationship with them. Feel like, okay, I'm your professor, and that's it. But I also know it's different. I also know I don't have to be as cold.
Too strict.
Because I know for them that's like, what are you doing? That's weird. Like, why are you acting like that? Because for them it's not anything romantic. They're just trying to. That's just what it is. That's just a relationship. It's just there's just more cariño. There's just more care. And which I enjoy. It's cool. It's nice to feel. It's nice to feel that care and belonging from your students. Like they're like, oh, we care about you as a person, and that's nice. That's a nice feeling.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, so like about so you teach in English. So it's been difficult to teach English in them.
I mean, Sometimes. I mean, it's easy in the aspect that I just speak English, so
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
easy. So it's not like I have to study a lot for it. It's not like I'm like, okay, what is, how do I say this? It's like, no, I know how to say this.
Yeah.
But the things that is hard is the grammar. The
Yeah.
grammar and why.
Yeah,
Why is it this? They'll say, profe, why is it like this? I don't know. It just sounds better. Like,
yeah, like you having like the sentiment of when you guys you ask me sometimes like, hey Andrew, why do you say this in Spanish? I'm like, I mean I can speak Spanish, but I don't know grammar.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like I don't know.
just say this.
Yeah,
Just
just say like this.
Just remember this.
Yeah.
No, it's the same thing. That's the difficult part. The difficult part is doing that. I feel, I think a lot of teachers deal with this that I've heard of is the motivation.
Yeah.
Because it's mandatory. It's not like they're coming to a class on their own.
Because they want it.
Yeah, it's saying, okay, Colombia as a mandate, as a country, we are doing this, and so our students have to do it too, obviously. And so the genuine interest and the motivation to learn English is difficult.
Yeah.
And again, that's something that I struggled with at first, and getting frustrated.
Yeah.
But now I think I'm a little bit more understanding and saying, I get it, because just thinking about my own history, I remember in high school in Spanish class,
Yeah.
there were so many students, like even me at times, where people were like, I'm not trying to learn this. Like, why do I have to learn this? We're in America, why don't they just speak English? Which is so dumb to me, It's very narrow-minded of Americans. But, so I understood it. I get it. I'm like, I get what you mean,
Yeah.
You don't want to learn English and you don't have the motivation today. Maybe you want to do it tomorrow, but you don't have the motivation
Yeah.
today. I get it, and I'm going to do what I can, but I'm not going to beat myself up for it. I'm not going to beat you up for it.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
It's like, we're going to do what we can today, and that's what it is.
Okay.
So that's a difficult part.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, bro. So finally, I would like to give them some advices. Like, how can people who's learning English improve their English? Like, what are your advice? What are your tips for learning English?
What are my tips for
Yeah.
learning English?
Carlos tips.
My tips for learning English. Let's see.
What do you think is good? What do you think is not good?
I think a big thing is, I think what we talked about before is the grammar is important.
Yeah.
It's important, yeah, it's important.
That's like debate, right?
It's important, but it's more important just to communicate. Because I know a lot of people who can speak English, maybe it's choppy, but I can have a conversation with them. And maybe sometimes I'll correct them, or if they ask me to, but I don't have a problem speaking with them in English. I can have a conversation with them, and I think that is the most important thing. Having confidence is really, it takes time.
Yeah.
So be patient with yourself when speaking English. You get frustrated and say, I can't do this. I don't have confidence when I speak English. But it takes time. It takes a lot of time to develop that. So just be patient with yourself when you're learning English. Obviously the best way to learn English is to be in another country that speaks English, but if you don't have that resource,
Yeah.
be around people that speak English. Challenge yourself to speak English. Watch movies with the subtitles on.
In English.
In English,
Yeah.
in English, not in Spanish. In English. Watch TV shows, listen to music, the pronunciation. One thing I think is actually really helpful. It's kind of funny, but someone once told me that the best way to learn another language, this is their words, the best way to learn a language is in bed. And so to have a partner that speaks English,
Yeah.
it's the best way. Then there's no other motivation than a romantic relationship with somebody,
Yeah.
because you learn English.
Yeah.
I need to learn this language.
I need to say this.
I need to say this. You get on Google Translate so fast.
Yeah, exactly.
What is this word? So, shoot. If you can find someone that speaks English and Spanish, that'd be great. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah.
And they can help you out. For me, I know that's helpful. That's really helpful sometimes. It's real, and then like just having, but then also having friends.
Yeah,
having friends that speak the language and just being around them, and even if they speak to you in Spanish, try to speak to them in English. You know,
Yeah.
because I mean they're gonna understand you and you're gonna understand them, so you know why not practice it like that? But more than anything, just be patient with yourself when learning English. English can be difficult at times. There's things that are difficult about Spanish, but there's things that are difficult about English.
Yeah, but I think Spanish is more difficult. Like,
I don't know. I honestly don't know. But I just know for a lot of people, the way you write English and when you say English is different, and that's very difficult.
Yeah.
That part is difficult. So when you come across those times, you know, just be patient because it takes time. You know, for example, for me, I told myself that I would practice my Spanish or that I would learn Spanish. I promised myself that when I was 17 or 16, and I'm 24 now.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I've really gotten a hang of it. And not everyone takes that amount of time. It doesn't always take that amount of time, but
yeah.
but just to say that now I waited and I'm okay. I'm
Yeah.
good. I'm good with that. So
That's great advice. You try to meet people. You had a chance to travel to another country, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
But if you don't, just practice with people around you, and native speakers, and just make friends. That's cool. And that was pretty much about today, guys. So thank you very much for watching, and catch you later. Bye.